Isaac, congratulations on your season so far. Tell us, what have you enjoyed most about being back now?
I'd say, well, two parts, being around my family and old friends and stuff like that's a really nice off-court bonus, but I'd just say winning and being like on a team which on any given night can be the best team in the competition. So I've really enjoyed being a part of that group, and we've all kind of spoken on a little bit the off-court camaraderie of the group. Like, I'm sure it leaks onto the floor a fair bit, but I enjoy the day-to-day with these boys for sure.
And it must be nice now after 5 years, Illawarra, Tassie, Brisbane, being able to share this, as you say, mum, dad, siblings, close friends.
Yeah, it's always been a highlight for me coming back and playing here, just because of that family connection, stuff like that. But, week to week, there'll still be mates from high school or primary school even popping up in the crowd, and that just gives an extra energy boost, I'd say.
About Coach Wells and the confidence he's showing, and you must give you confidence as a player as well.
Yeah, I think that's, any player wants to have the faith of their head coach, and I think that's not something I've had consistently in my NBL career, so that really helps. And obviously the conversations we have are super important. He kind of keeps me on track, but also he's come to me in fourth quarters and big moments and stuff like that. So he's talked the talk, but he's also shown me in big games that he does have faith, and that obviously helps me in my confidence and my comfort level.
And so does that make you, is this the best version of Isaac Light in the NBL we've seen?
Depends how you want to look at it. I'd say, the way I'm looking at it is I'm playing my best basketball, generally speaking. I'm not necessarily putting the ball in the hole at the rate I have previously or something like that, but I'd say I'm playing the best basketball that I have, and hopefully I can continue to trend in the right direction, offensively, production-wise and stuff like that. But, I'm just so bought into my role on this group. As I said, the winning part is just very rewarding for me. And so, if that's 20 points on a night or 2 on the next, that's okay with me.
You've played at a few different clubs and always been hunting for that opportunity to take it home. So what does it mean to be getting that and earning that trust, just elaborating on the case, but especially in your hometown here in Adelaide? I'm sure you grew up coming to these games.
Yeah, I did. I went to a couple games as a kid. No, it really does mean a lot. Obviously, you work really hard off the floor to bring it onto the floor with you. And for a lot of years there, I was putting in a ton of work and not necessarily being able to show that night in and night out. I know that's not to say it's going to be like this for the rest of the season or whatever, but having that faith and that consistent role so far has really helped me find my feet and come into games with a really nice headset, and it's kind of helping me.
What is it? This might have been asked already, but that three you hit in the last quarter, the pass from Bryce was as good as a pass I feel like I've seen in the NBL. What was that moment like for you, stepping up in the clutch and seeing the ball come into your hands the way it did, but also just taking that opportunity?
Yeah, it's something I got to work on. I think particularly in our system, the ball does pop out at random times. I don't think that's a secret, and I need to really work on stepping into those with confidence and just really letting it fly. I think too many times I've kind of put the ball on the floor, and I think that was an example where, Bryce can obviously really pass the ball. It came out and I attacked the pass, and the results were really good. So that's something I need to keep working on for this group. But as you said, Bryce is a very willing passer, and especially, he trusts his teammates in big moments, and, I'm happy I could convert it.
You're saying that, what does it mean to have Bryce's trust? He's such
Yeah.
an amazing player.
Yeah.
In that moment when a guy who can easily find his own shot and probably takes game-winning shots more than anyone else, to look at a guy like that, what does that mean to you?
It does mean a lot. It probably has a little more weight than it should. I think, as a competitor, you want to come in and be your own person and not be too reliant on, the validation of others or something like that. But in a healthy way, having Bryce's confidence really does help on the floor. And as I said, I'm just really bought into that role, even if it's defensively and he needs a break and I need to take a certain guy. I'm super bought into, helping him out there because I know it's really going to help the team. And as you said, when he throws you the ball and, has faith in you to make a shot, I think that's what it's all about. So yeah, it's been really good.
You mentioned Bryce there, obviously we all saw what happened the other night with him.
Yeah.
And you mentioned he's having some personal stuff going on. Has the group sort of rallied around him a bit in the last couple of days?
100%. I think obviously during the game, no one really knew what was going on. We still don't have the clearest depiction of it, but one thing was clear was that the boys were, giving him love. The coaches were giving him love, and our primary concern was, his well-being. And obviously, he did an amazing job to go and produce for us and help us win the game as he does consistently. But like as I said, the primary concern was his well-being, and he's bounced back and seems good to go. So that's all that matters to us, I think.
Yeah, great. You mentioned the locker room sort of atmosphere earlier on. I guess we all know like the main leaders of the group, but like who are some guys that probably from the outside who wouldn't really notice as the sort of leaders that are helping you guys on this run?
Yeah, I mean, obviously leadership takes different forms. I think an interesting one is like the guys who aren't playing as much, Rasmussen, Harris, Kenyon at times, and then he's been thrown in the deep end a little bit. Like, I think they're the guys that keep the group afloat. It's really easy when you have opportunity and you get the glory of being on the floor. Those guys, I think, have the potential to, 10, 11, 12, drag a group down. If they're going to be selfish about their own role, you can sink the ship real quick. So I think those guys are leading in a unique way and really carrying our culture off the floor, and hopefully they get the reward they deserve.